Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can transform your Fallout 4 into a vivid masterpiece, and even better graphics than Fallout 4 Nxgen. I did make a similar video to this, but that was before the update, and I switched some things around. And a lot of people have been asking me non-stop on similar videos on how I did it. So I'm going to be info dropping all my graphic and texture mods so you guys can enjoy them too. So I really hope you guys end up enjoying this video enough to hit that like button. And maybe subscribe if you're feeling generous today for more content in the future. But as of right now, let's dive right in. Oh, and quick disclaimer, I don't really know how many mods this is going to be honest, but I'm going to try and keep this next gen compatible. Maybe one or two that isn't compatible, but most of these will be. So by the time I post this video's thumbnail, we will both be figuring it out at the same time. So to start us off, we're going to be doing ENB, just to get it out the way since that pretty much is my most asked question. But the ENB that I use is Reactor ENB on Nexus, because in my opinion it's just a vivid color enhancement. At least to my eyes, it probably does so much more. But that's pretty much what I love about it. It doesn't completely transform the environment, but it does make the game look so much better that you'll notice immediately as soon as you join the game. So it really fits all my other mods that I'm going to list in this video. And what I personally do, just me personally, you can do what you want, but what I personally do to Reactor ENB when I join is I turn the post-processing off and then I click save. Because with the post-processing, it comes with like a blue tint that I'm not too much of a fan of. But honestly, if you like it, then you can definitely keep it. It's not really going to affect your FPS. Just make sure that if you do decide to turn off the post-processing that you actually click save. Otherwise, you're going to have to do it every time you join the game, and you're going to hate yourself for that. The next mod to pair with Reactor ENB for the perfect match is NAC X. This mod is the perfect weather and lighting enhancement for Reactor, because it pretty much just further enhances on what Reactor is pretty much already doing for your mod list. And for lack of better words, it makes the environment look more sharp. I would advise to be careful with NAC X though. At base, when you install this mod, it doesn't come with the MCM, just a holotape that is annoying to configure. So I advise you to get the separate mod, which does have an MCM for it. And I 100% recommend that. But the main issue that it has is that it comes with quite a few personal mod changes made by the mod author when you first install it. Such as vignette being enabled as soon as you install it, which is quite annoying if you turn fast or you play on a higher field of view. But it also changes the interior lighting, and it overwrites pretty much every interior lighting mod that you may have, which will conflict with a lot of mods. Which is what I figured out yesterday. It's sad that it took me so long. And the way that I figured it out is because my Institute was extremely bright no matter what texture I was using, like to the point where I was almost going blind. But once I turned off that setting, everything went back to normal. The only annoying part is that because I test so many mods, I tend to teleport from the main menu. So that means I have to reset that every time I load into the game because NAC X doesn't save settings. At least not on new games. So just giving you guys a quick heads up about that. And the last mod that I use for environment enhancements is Enhanced Lights and FX. This is a classic on Skyrim and on Fallout 4 because it pretty much transforms every interior and makes them darker and look so much better because in base Fallout 4 they're pretty bright and boring. Like I said though, if you want to see this mod actually in effect, you have to disable NAC X interior lighting overhaul, otherwise you won't really see ELFX. You could try the Ultra Interior Lighting mod and Ultra Exterior Lighting mod because they are separate and ELFX does both at the same time. But that mod gave me a lot of draw calls, so I assume that lower end PCs wouldn't be able to handle it, especially in places like the Gunner base. So I switched back to ELFX. But if you have a strong PC, I definitely recommend to at least try that one once. Otherwise you can't go wrong with a classic like ELFX, and it is definitely more supported. Pretty much patches everywhere on Nexus for it. Okay, so that's pretty much it when it comes to lighting graphics that people always ask me for. And with Script Extender actually being updated recently, you should be able to use these quite easily. But now we can get into something else, pretty big actually, which is the environment. And for me, I prefer a forest, and to do that, we just need one mod, which is called Another Pine Forest. Another Pine Forest replaces the entirety of the Commonwealth and DLC lands like Nuka World. Most people don't know that, they just think it does for the mainland. It pretty much replaces everything with the forested look, but it doesn't make everything look lush, unlike other mods. There's still swamp areas and decayed areas that still look really bad because it is Fallout 4. Though most people prefer a dead looking Fallout 4 or a desert look like New Vegas, which you can try Desperados for, but I feel like that takes away from the exploration of Fallout 4. Because if you can see everything from 10,000 miles away, then it really doesn't make things fun. And with another pine forest making it more dense, you'll pretty much never know where you're going unless you played this game for 9 years non-stop. And it also doesn't destroy your FPS like other mods, unfortunately. There is actually another mod that I like that not many people know about, and it's called Pine Forest Redone. Now this one will actually destroy your FPS, but it does look amazing. And I pair it with grasslands. I'll probably save it for when I get a better PC, but it makes a perfect combo. The mist for this mod is an optional plugin. You can turn it off for just a straight forest look, and just pretty much continue on with your life. However, I still prefer another Pine Forest. I just feel like this one deserved a quick shout out. But the next mod that I use is called Nxgen Bush. And I use the default version even though it's a little different colored green than another pine forest. But I mean, if you go out into the woods, you're not really going to find a pine forest where every tree is the exact same color either. So this mod is pretty much perfect. I even highly recommend this mod even if you aren't using a forest type of mod, because this mod also has different color variations where you can even use the vanilla look, which is like a burgundy type of color, which is pretty beautiful in my opinion. I was going to say weird, but no, I actually kind of like it. I just use the forest look, so I go with the green. I mean, you definitely could use the other color variations with another pine forest if you're a rebel, but honestly, my brain would probably be overstimulated looking at that. But to each their own. The next mod that you're gonna want to grab is an Ivy mod just to complete the whole forest look. Well, it's technically gonna be 2 mods, but the first one is called Indubitable Ivy. Please, I hope I never have to say that name again. That word is hard. Honestly, you probably don't even need this mod because another pine forest comes with its own ivy changes that matches it, but I really like this one instead. The only issue with this one is that it doesn't work with remove all ugly plants and things, because unless you extract the BSA, because it's the texture, it won't really cause any issues if you do. Then if you extract it, then it will actually show up. The version of the ivy that I use though is the summer version because the spring version is too bright. I like to have green, but not that green. Especially considering in Fallout 5, whenever that comes out, maybe before we're 40, we might see much more greenery considering the TV show is canon. Or maybe what if there's a conspiracy that since the TV show is canon, that because, well, I'll put spoilers here for anybody that wants to skip this part. But yeah, considering they have infinite power now, I wonder if that means that they took off into space, and that's how Starfield started. Be a good way to explain it, but I doubt they're connected, but that's just my brain working. Okay, so back to the mods. I just randomly thought about that for some reason. But the next mod that you're gonna need is called More Vines. It adds more vines pretty much everywhere. Someone recommended me to showcase this mod, and it was surprising because I already had this mod in my mod list, I just didn't show it. And when I say it adds vines everywhere, I mean including cities. And sometimes you can even find them in trees or on dead trees. I never really look up at trees, so I'm not sure if there's going to be some floating in certain areas with another pine forest. But for the most part, I didn't really notice any issues with this. But I definitely did notice a difference in cities with this mod, because it makes it look more overgrown. And with it being overgrown, it pretty much is the perfect match for another pine forest, because another pine forest retextures certain parts of cities to make it look like grass is growing through them or just moss. So it just makes sense that vines would also be there. Okay, now for the most overlooked part of Fallout 4, we have the cars. You probably noticed in my video that my cars don't quite look normal, and that's because I already had a mod installed and I didn't feel like disabling it. But the mod is called Left to Rot Vehicles. This one adds moss and rust to almost every car in the Commonwealth. There are some that got left alone and they look a little weird compared to the other ones, but it's fine since it covers most of them. The only downside to this mod though is that if you use it, you have to use the 4K version. Or when you join the game, it won't look good at all, especially not the 1K version. It won't look good up close, or it won't look good just a little bit further away. You'll have to pretty much be far away to even make this car look good. And the other downside to this mod, that since the 4K version is the only one that looks great, is that it is 4 gigabytes. But don't worry, an alternative to this mod is available, and it is one of my favorites. The mod is called Modern Car Replacer. This mod leaves no car normal. It pretty much replaces every car in Fallout 4 with cars from Modern Warfare. So they will look closer to cars that you will see in real life on a regular day, but you don't have to worry about seeing super fancy cars. This keeps the cars to what you would see on an average person driving. I mean, a lot of people do drive fancy cars nowadays, so maybe it's just me. But pretty much it's either this mod that replaces the cars completely and makes it not look like Fallout 4, or you can sacrifice 4 gigabytes and get Left to Rot. That is pretty much up to you though. I prefer the car replacer honestly, but like I said, some prefer vanilla look. And although short, that was pretty much it for the Ultimate Graphics Showcase, so you guys can get your Fallout 4 looking better than most others in 2024. Although I do recommend to mix it up though, don't copy my list 100% or you'll not watch my video showcases anymore. So as of right now guys, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace and love guys.